Barkley admitted it was a little strange putting on that green uniform after so many years in Giants blue, but said he now considers this place home after forming some relationships in the locker room. One of those places was with Jalen Hurts, and that was through lifting weights. Now, both of these guys can squat over 600 pounds. Not bad for the brotherly shove coming up. And so they've had these friendly squat offs essentially in the locker room. That's helped with that bonding. And also, he's been on the golf course a lot with his teammates, mostly with offensive linemen and quarterbacks. Clearly a man who knows where his bread is buttered. But it's really on the field where he's making his biggest impression. And he said what he was struck by the most was going into the huddle for the first time, being surrounded by A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Hurts, Dallas Goedert. He said that is not a bad group to be surrounded by.
So this story was interesting to me. Obviously, it's like a very small story because these are just kind of pretty minor interviews. You know, what will be like 100 days or so, a little less than that going into the season. But I wanted to make a video with regards to this because I think this is an understated perspective or understated point that we don't really bring up a lot in football, and especially now with the Eagles, because a lot of people, as you guys all know, I'm super high on the Eagles. I think that they're going to be a great team, an elite team. I think just what they said, like you have A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Devontae. I mean, like it's just Goddard, Jalen, and a great O-line. It's just going to be trouble. And again, I think bringing Saquon is such a good person, good culturally. He's getting along with everyone so quickly. Not everyone has that energy. Not all great players have that energy. And it matters. It was something that the Eagles were lacking last season. And I think that's potentially one of the carryover effects when you lose a Super Bowl. I'm not a huge person where I believe in like a Super Bowl hangover necessarily. I don't think there's like any guarantee, right? Like if you lose a Super Bowl going into the next season, I'm not like, oh, well, now you're guaranteed because this is what happened in the past. That's more, that's meaningless to me. I think what happens is, especially with a lot of teams, but with the Eagles, is you lose your coordinators, you lose other players start getting older. Like it's just hard to recapture that magic. But one of the factors that I do think plays an important role is when you lose a Super Bowl, that next season, it is 100. Like you already are like, I want to win a Super Bowl, but it's even more heightened because you're just like, we were so close. We were right there. Let's go. And I think some of the fun now gets taken away. Now, right, the football is a business. It is all, you are supposed to compete and perform. And so you're not there just to like have fun and dance around, but you do need to enjoy what you're doing. Like any job, you're going to do a better job when you enjoy what you're doing. That's just the reality of it. The moment you stop enjoying what you're doing, you're just not going to be as good, as successful, especially when you're talking about sports where you have to enjoy the people that you're with, that you're working around, that you're on the bus with, on the plane, in the locker room. It's such a grind. You're there from early in the morning to late at night. You have to enjoy. And so much of it is the little things. It's the random, tiny little conversations you're having about nonsense, about my socks are itchy. Seriously, like it's the dumbest stuff that comes up. The dumbest stuff. And it's just like, and then you start making fun of each other because the one guy's got like the weird, these extra thick socks or whatever, and you just start making fun of each other. And there's moments in the locker room, there's moments when you're with those guys where it's either you're laughing at it and it's all fun, and now you're laughing manically, even over the dumbest thing you could ever imagine, or that moment just doesn't happen. And it takes away from the team, it takes away from the experience, it takes away from the joy. And you're no longer ride or die with your teammates. It just has a different energy. It's why you see a lot of these teams that end up playing better than they actually are, or they perform better than they actually are, or they exceed expectations. And a lot of times, one of the universal factors of those teams is that they really are having fun and they're enjoying what they're doing. They enjoy each other. They're playing for each other. And you don't want that moment to end. That's really what it also ends up coming down to. When you're having so much fun with your teammates and you're really happy to be there, you don't want that moment to end. You want it to keep going. So you want to keep winning because especially the moment you lose momentum, then it kind of starts to drag a little bit. And a lot of anyone who's played sports at a competitive level will know exactly what I'm talking about. And so that's something that Saquon brings that he did not have with the New York Giants. He did not have that. He was with a failing organization. And so he has that in Philly. He has that energy. He's happy with his quarterback. He's happy with the other weapons. And those other weapons are happy that they have him. So it's just going to be a very synergistic effect from my point. But the other question that I wanted to bring up is because it's so unbelievable. I need to know this. You guys need to answer this question for me because I think it's just nonsense. So many people love to hate on Philly and the Eagles, which I get it. The Eagles have been a very successful organization for years and years and years. And the truth is that majority of franchises have not achieved anywhere near the levels of success that the Philadelphia Eagles have in the last 25 years. So I get it. There's a lot of hate to go around. But when you have Saquon, when you have AJ and Goddard and Devontae and Jalen, I'm not sure if I said it. You guys all act. There's a lot of people out there acting like that's not good offense. That's not potent. That's not going to do damage. All I do is I've heard so many people be like, oh, that's not that good. That's not good. Or they're not going to be good. They're not going to be good. And it's like, how can you possibly say that? Because I'm so confident that if you change their jerseys and put them on Kansas City or the 49ers or anywhere else, everybody would be screaming, oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. And here's where now Jalen Hurts is going to get in trouble with the random fans, non-Philly fans. If he's successful this season, they're going to say, well, yeah, he has Saquon and AJ and Devontae and Goddard. Of course, he has a stacked team. But then going into the season, you guys act like that team is not that good. Or that they're not that good. Or Saquon's not that good. Saquon's overrated. A lot of people are saying Saquon's overrated and the Eagles overpaid for him. So it's like, what is the solution? How can someone win in this situation? If Jalen Hurts balls out with this team, they're going to say, well, he's overrated. And, well, of course he balled out. He has Saquon and A.J. Brown. Of course, anybody would be able to do that. But then going into the season, you're saying that they're not actually that good, that it's overrated. So it's such a lose-lose situation that fans try to create that I always find comically absurd personally, because I don't buy into that nonsense. I really don't. But it's just so funny the way how people make up narratives to fit their own views, when objectively we know that this is a potent offense. Because again, everyone also wants to bash Kellen Moore now, and it's like, again, when he played for Dallas, when he was the OC for Dallas, he was just the cream of the crop. Everybody was loving him, and now they're like, well, the offense got better after he left, and it's like, no, it did not. The Cowboys played awful teams, and they were able to feast on these bad teams and play awful against the good teams. That's not an offense that got better. Sorry to say. Because a lot of people said, oh, well, Kellen Moore didn't run the ball enough. And when they got rid of him, the Dallas Cowboys ran even less than when they had Kellen Moore. So again, people just kind of say things about things that they have no idea what they're talking about. But you have a great OC. Listen, is he an elite OC? Is he Shanahan, McVay? Again, probably not. But he is a great OC. I'm confident in saying that. And the Eagles have great weapons. When you have great weapons, a great quarterback, a great OC, great, please tell me how that offense is not going to be great. Please make it make sense, because I'm seeing plenty of arguments of people trying to say that it's not like the Nick Wrights of the world, and it just makes no sense to me. So I think this has just been all positive news. I'm really excited to see what Philly gets into. And I'm really just predicting a lot of highs. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Saquon joining the Eagles and how it's already kind of seemingly fitting in very nicely? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.